Hello, everyone. It's Ty. While it hasn't quite been 6 months since the last time, the ending of a year seems like the perfect opportunity to look back and reflect. So today, I thought we'd take a look at the Husbando landscapes of Star Rail, Genshin, and Zenless over the last few months in another HoYo Husbando review. We'll begin with the game that has shown the greatest improvement, Genshin. Since our last review, we've gotten Flints in 6.0 and Durin in 6.2. Thankfully, despite our fears of a 4-star bait and switch, both of them were fantastic 5-star husbandos. Now, if my calculations are correct, 6.3 should be going live not long after this video is released, which will be including Iklua. Sure, he's only a 4-star, and as I understand it, little more than support for Tsubai and Lunar Crystallize as a whole, which does give me some Panyinhe flashbacks, but there's nothing wrong with extra unexpected husbandos. In fact, it's a great sign, since it means there's the possibility for more going forward. We still have no definitive word on Varka, but it's speculated that he may be in 6.4. Unfortunately, we won't know for sure until 6.4 Drip, and that's where Genshin continues to struggle. Their drip, as of late, has been fairly consistent, just significantly later than I prefer. From 5.8 to 6.3, drip has been between 2 to 6 days after the previous patch goes live, which ends up around 2 to 3 weeks after the patch's livestream. While I do love the perceived improvement in consistency, I'm still not too keen on it being so incredibly late in the patch cycle. So, will we see Varka in 6.4? Well, we'll unfortunately have to wait until after 6.3 launches to know for sure. And what if he is? Then what? Who's next? Varka is the last of the husbandos previewed, so after that, we've got nothing to go on. We did get a strange rear drip, but what does that even mean? Danslife got drip of a similar type in 2020, but here we are, 6 years later, and he's not playable. So is this just one of those, or does it mean he'll be playable later on in this patch? But regardless, 3 5-star husbandos between 6.0 and 6.4 would be an incredible improvement from version 5. Will we get a couple more before the end of version 6? I suppose we'll just have to see. Sort of like the situation with Zenless. Oh, ZZZ, you vex me so. After our last review, we did in fact get Minato, a fire rupture agent, who ended up being an A rank much to the dismay of many, myself included. His saving grace is that he's actually really good, even if he is an A rank. But then, immediately after that, we got an S rank in Banyue, who is also a fire rupture agent, effectively rendering Minato kinda redundant, and making it 7 months, 3 days between S-rank husbandos. And the way they've treated Banyue, my god, that could be an entire video unto itself. Barely any screen time in his own patch, focusing more on Shunguang. No character story event like Yadari and the rest have had, instead an event where we went out on dates with Shunguang. A ridiculously shortened banner to more quickly release Shunguang, sensing a pattern. And even on the week of his release, he couldn't even have the spotlight for a moment of the 12 short days of his own banner, because 2 freaking days later, the 2.5 livestream dropped. All about Shunguang. Hell, his own EP was overshadowed by the speculations of Lady Sunbringer being in it for half a Goram second. But let's not get lost in those grievances. There are plenty more to go. Because that's it. The 2.0 preview video well has run dry, so anyone who might show up will be basically out of left field. Now, yes, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it sure would be nice to have a husbando get some hype built around them for once. I guess Damien's still a possibility, though I'm still quite skeptical. He seems to have been downgraded to a silly background accessory for Zhao. And Xian did get himself a gorgeous playable character glow up, but then he was immediately put on a bus, and who the hell knows when or if he'll come back as actually playable. What we do know is that it won't be anytime soon. Obviously, Drip has remained a nightmare, though I will hand it to them, they've seemingly tried to do better. While the 2.1 and 2.2 Drip were several days after their previous patches went live, they actually managed to start 2.3 and 2.5 Drip on the night of the previous patch live streams. If they managed to make that the regular schedule for Drip, I would see that as a win. Sadly, they just cannot seem to maintain that pace. 2.5 is already live at this point, and the 2.5 livestream was weeks ago, but we didn't get the Drip that night, and we've not seen any Drip yet. We did get a sort of teaser video that showed the Angels of Delusion, but I'm not sure if that really counts, because it still leaves everything in a very speculative area. Regardless, 2.5 is Shengwang and Zhao, and if 2.6 is the Angels of Delusion, that means the last chance for a Husbando in this version will be 2.7, unless they go to 2.8. Beyond that, we're looking at version 3, and that's another 3 months or more before another male character. Not great, but hey, maybe they can take a page from Star Rail's version 3 to see how it should be done. With its abundance of husbandos and the perfect cadence with which they were released, Star Rail was the standard by which I previously measured the others. I thought I'd end with it though, because it's found itself in a bit of a limbo. We got Teng Huang in 3.6 as expected, and that's it for version 3, as expected. And I'm okay with that, as expected. What no one was expecting, though, is that version 4 is being delayed due to reasons? So where we would have had Drip for 4.0 and likely a teaser trailer for the entirety of version 4 by now, we've gotten this. It's definitely something. We have Sparkle, Blade, and Silverwolf, which I can only assume implies SPs. Then this Fuhua-looking silhouette, and this Yae Sakura one, leaving only this one as another possible husbando. Is that Aventurine? The rumored La Mancha? Or maybe Sampo gets a fluffy new haircut and a new hat? We still don't know yet. Drip has remained great overall, always at the start of the week of the previous patch livestream, except for this delayed 4.0 Drip due to the aforementioned reasons. And that's the concern. Now, obviously, 3.x was handled fantastically, and as I have said, all that goodwill that they have built up leaves me with just so many doubt benefits for 4.x, but it's still an uncertainty. It doesn't help that there are only the 2 husbandos shown in that image. Maybe. Can we even be sure that this is a guy? I guess we'll just have to see. And that's more or less the overall theme of the review, isn't it? It's still a matter of time to prove our hopes or fears true. With Star Rail, I'm accepting of the wait, and so I give them 4.5 stars. I know the version 4 stuff's not entirely their fault, but they still have to take a bit of a hit for it for now. I do believe that they'll manage a 5 out of 5 when all is said and done, but as it stands now, that lack of knowing leaves me worried, and that worry eats a 0.5 star. Genshin, I'd say, is also on a good 4 out of 5. So far, they've done a great job with their release cadence and enough preview information to know that there's at least Varka still to come. Beyond that, though, we're still uncertain, and it's that uncertainty combined with the precedent of version 5 that knocks off a star. Will they drop the ball mid-version? Or will we continue to be surprised with even more husbandos? We'll just have to see. But they've built a solid enough foundation so far that I believe they wouldn't really need to do too much more to make me see version 6 as an overall success. And Zenless. For fuck's sake. Well, okay. To be true to the review process, looking just at the last 6-ish months, it's actually not been that bad. Monato was an A rank, and that's kinda crap, but he's still an amazing character, and it was only 2 patches between Yinhe and him. Then, in the very next patch, we got Banyue, who is fantastic beyond words. And the existence of Monato and Banyue means that I can retract my disparagement of Yinhe. Well, I retract some of my disparagement of Yinhe. While he's still completely useless without them, he is actually incredibly useful with Monato or Banyue. As such, I will gladly say we have had 3 male characters, 2.5 male characters in version 2. While only one of them has been S rank, there is still the possibility of at least one more S rank before version 3, and whether that happens or not is basically critical to my judgment of version 2 as a whole. But, as of now, for a 6-month review, what we've gotten from Zenless has been, I must begrudgingly admit, not bad. Could it be better? Oh god, yes. 7 months between S-rank husbandos is absolutely ridiculous, and the lack of foreknowledge of possible male characters leaves the future a gaping void of uncertainty. But it's at least been an alright 6-ish months, and it serves to maintain that tiny spark of hope that I continue to hold for the game. I'll give Zenless Zone Zero a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, I know, sounds insane, right? But again, I have to begrudgingly admit that these last few months we're looking at have been good. And honestly, I'm still hyped about how awesome Banyue is, so it may be screwing with the measurements a bit. I absolutely foresee that a full version 2 review later will find that number significantly lower. But hey, that's just my opinion. What about yours? How do you think the HoYo games have been doing on the Husbando front these past few months? Will Zenless manage to do better in the future? Has Genshin run out of juice after their fantastic version 6 start? Will Star Rail version 4 end up a disappointment after how amazing version 3 was? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And that'll be it for my 6-ish month HoYo Husbando review. I suppose it's mostly just me saying, I guess we'll see, in various ways, but at any rate, thanks so much for watching. If you like this sort of thing, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified when I post more things of this or any other nature. It's a new year, and I have a new OS and access to all sorts of new games that I couldn't play before. I even started playing Wua, which I'll probably regret, but maybe I'll start doing some content in other things as well. So I guess we'll see. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all again next time. Bye!